Well, I got finished watching season 2 of DMC, and after watching that season, all I can say is, Adi Shankar, never in your life should you be allowed to make another fucking adaptation again. This shit was. Apparently, they're threatening us with the season 3. I hope I'm wrong. I really do. Cause goddamn, this season was some hot, steamy, wrinkly ass. Shit from a butt, if you will. Disclaimer. This is a critique on the adaptation of the source material rather than the show as a whole. This is also formed from my own opinion. Everything I say comes from a place of hatred because of how I believe they tarnish the source material. Some people may not agree, and that is fine. You are all entitled to your opinions, the same as I. But I will say that I truly do believe that your opinion can be and is wrong. Because like I said, this season was some shit from a butt. I wish I could have something good to say about this season, but I don't. Aside from the fact that they made Arius' purpose actually in line with what he does in DMC 2, I can't bring up anything that feels remotely good about this season at all. This shit might actually be the most efficient example of what LARPing your creation is. I get that the story is supposed to be different from the game, and it's supposed to be something new and refreshing for a lot of DMC fans, as well as anyone who is interested in getting into DMC. But this shit respects nothing of the source material, and deadass is played out like fucking Halo. Not the game, the TV show, which you know how that shit is. The characters are butchered, the story progression is weird, and the power scaling is extremely inconsistent, as well as those useless fucking cameos they keep adding. If you want some examples, I'll go ahead and give you some. Let's start with the butchering of most of the characters. Dante, who was supposed to be a very nonchalant, stylish, and most importantly, very powerful individual, was watered down into a sniveling bitch who, by the way, has not won a single fucking fight throughout the entirety of season 2. He deadass got turned into a super bum. I think I only caught him doing some stylish shit twice throughout that entire season, and maybe a grand total of 4, maybe 5 times throughout the show so far. They butchered the source material horribly. Virgil, who was supposed to be Dante's opposite, serious, slightly more intelligent, and also, like Dante should be, very powerful. He was watered down into a bootlicking for about 7 episodes, slightly emotional, idiotic Nimrod who can't observe his environment properly to save himself. Also, never in a million years would I have assumed that Virgil, the same guy who developed a pursuit for power because he blames himself for being too weak and not protecting his mother when that incident happened, would have outright disrespected his mother in this adaptation.
Dad didn't see humans that way. Why would he be with Mom if he did?
You think he meant to sire his heirs with her? That there is any mystery why we never knew him? It's obvious. He was as ashamed of his paramour's nature as you should be.
Is that really how you feel about her?
Like I've said, they butchered the fuck out of the source material for these characters. And it pains me to see how bad the writing is for these two. But what pains me even more is that the both of them were caught by fucking tasers! Tasers! Genuinely, what the fuck goes through your head when you decide to make these fucking plot points? It just doesn't make sense. Lady, a crazy, slightly brash, yet fire-ass woman who hunts demons because of her trauma from Arkham, which is her dad, killing her mother to gain demonic power, was surprisingly not too far gone in terms of the writing. The problem is, she was bootlicking galore throughout the entirety of season 1 and a little bit through season 2. If there's one thing she's extremely brash about, it's that damn potty mouth. Her cussing makes cussing seem like a chore. It dims down a lot during season 2, but oh my god, it was like every sentence in season 1 she was just dropping any cuss word that fit the sentence. He's like a Mexican dude with the N-word. This shit's insane. Beowulf, who in DMC 3 was able to put up hands against Sparta and give Dante an actual challenge, was watered down into a side character who was a lapdog to Mundus and got tossed out in a couple of slashes. There wasn't shit about his character that actually seemed intriguing at all. Also, Mundus getting his hands on the Yamato, or it being entrusted to him by the guy who rebelled against him and his realm, and then giving it to Virgil, has got to be the second dumbest shit I have ever heard, right next to Dante being a fucking bum. How did he get his hands on it? Lucia, who was a pretty prominent figure in DMC 2 and is a demon hunter working for the Protectors, was turned into a fucking cameo. And she was bleached. Like, bro, what? They keep throwing in cameos to add on to the flavor of the show and appeal to a lot of people who enjoy Capcom or just anime in general. But genuinely, what is there to enjoy? Sure, you sneak in some Street Fighter aesthetic. Sure, you bring up Raccoon City. Sure, you bring in JoJo's art style. For what purpose, I couldn't fucking tell you. You bring in all this shit, but you can't bring a decent representation of the source material for Devil May Cry whatsoever. I'm not letting go of Dante being written like fucking Nero. You know, a DMC adaptation would obviously need something funny, right? Yeah, I know it'll make everyone laugh. Let's add a 6-7 joke. Oh, that wasn't funny? Oh, okay, I got this. Hey, look, it's that launch here everyone keeps referencing from Devil May Cry 5. It's pretty funny, right?
Oh man, I'm your punk ass.
As much as I want to critique the Lady X Dante shipping, I don't think I could even care for it anymore. And honestly, as much as I'd hate for them to do this, I wouldn't be surprised if Season 3 makes Nero a product of Dante and Lady. Don't give them any ideas! You're right, my bad. Let's talk about the power scaling. Aside from the fact that both Virgil and Dante are extremely weak compared to their game counterparts, it amazes me how stupidly inconsistent Adi Shankar is with writing the strength of both Dante and Virgil. Apparently, you can tank a shotgun shell to the chest without taking any knockback at all, but some tasers will do the trick. You could get punched through several mountains by the literal ruler of hell and get back up with some scratches and no stun effects, but some tasers will do the trick. You could take a punch and get drilled through several mountains by the literal ruler of hell at a young age and get back up quickly without any internal bleeding or crazy injuries, but a rock being tossed at your tummy now gives you split organs and a ruptured fucking spleen. Does this shit make any sense to you? Let me answer that question for you. No! I've said it once, and I'll say it again. This show plays out like Adi Shankar was just LARPing the ever-living shit out of Devil May Cry. I've given you a plethora of reasons, and you can try to argue against them, reason with them, or accept that this show is just some absolute donkey shit. This is the first time since the release of Halo that I felt so much disappointment come from someone who wrote some actual decent shit. Yeah, Adi Shankar was behind the writing of Castlevania, which in my opinion isn't bad. Though I've only watched up to the first season, so I can't really say whether or not the seasons after were any better. I'm going to assume this video has you heated to a certain degree, either because I slandered properly, or you understand me and my frustrations with this poo-poo ass adaptation. And while we're at it, let me leave this golden post by yours truly, Adi Shankar. It's crazy considering I made a video on why I think game adaptations are getting better. You should check that out, by the way. But that's all I have for today. Thank you for tuning in once again. And yeah, see ya.